I want to show you the story that comes out from, if you can pull up the clip, yes. So reports, Daily Wire issued gag order against Candace Owens during public debate negotiations, right? Okay, so let me read this story because, I'm sure you have great feedback to give to both sides on this. So conservative news and commentary outlet The Daily Wire has reportedly obtained gag order against former podcast host Candace Owens. The news reported allegations alleges despite company co-founder Ben Shapiro claiming that he wanted to debate her on the Israel-Palestine issue, Owens' 3-year stint at the Daily Wire ended in March following months of tensions between the professional provocateur and her fellow network personalities. The subject of the Israel-Hamas was proved to be a particularly divisive issue for Owens and Shapiro. Owens has taken a firm stance against it, American involvement in foreign wars, including the one in Gaza. Shapiro, an Orthodox Jew, has criticized other Republicans for their declining support for both Israel and Ukraine, stressing America's national security interests in both conflicts. After multiple social media, do you have a video of that as well, Rob, on what he says, or no?
I do. I have Glenn Greenwald reporting.
Okay, go ahead and have that video if you can play Glenn's. Go for it.
Immediately after, Candace Owens went to Twitter and said, I'd like to have a debate with Ben Shapiro about Israel. The Daily Wire ran into an arbitration proceeding and requested that an arbitrator put a gag order on Candace Owens and order her blocked, banned from criticizing the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro in any way. And none of this was disclosed by the Daily Wire. They had led their audience to believe that they actually wanted a debate with Candace Owens. And yet at the same time, in secret, they were arguing to the arbitrator that the way in which Candace Owens asked for this debate, the expressions of criticism she had voiced about Ben Shapiro, the fact that she had liked multiple tweets that were criticizing Ben Shapiro in the Daily Wire meant that Candace Owens, by negotiating and asking for this debate, had in fact engaged in disparagement of the Daily Wire in a way that violated her contract, and they therefore convinced an arbitrator in secret that they were likely to win if they sued Candace Owens for breach of contract, and the only remedy possible would be to gag Candace Owens from talking about the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro in any way critically.
I mean, it's a chicken shit
move. So what do you think about that?
Okay, I like it. I'll tell you what, I like the move. This is a very smart move by the Daily Wire. You got to remember, it's not Ben Shapiro anymore. He made his decision. Organizations protect themselves. And when they have a contract with you, they will immediately do this. Now, Glenn, the truth is enough. Glenn doesn't have to say they went in secret. Arbitration is what it is. You know what I mean? It's in your contract. So it's not like they're sneaking around. But so, he doesn't need that drama to it. But the reality is, you're saying one thing to me, but now you got your boys exercising a right on my contract. And you have to look at the reason why, okay? The Daily Wire doesn't believe that Shapiro wins the debate with Candace Owens.
You think they believe that?
100. Otherwise, there's no reason to do it.
Wow.
If this is working for you, you let it go, right? Because the theory is Vinny and Patrick get sideways. And you believe that you got sideways with him for good reason. You want people to know. Yeah, good. Let Vinny talk about why we got sideways. Good. Everyone's going to understand why we did what we did. That's what Ben Shapiro has been saying. Everybody's going to understand that Candace Owens has positions that are not just incorrect, but morally wrong in a way that Ben Shapiro says matters. He's not just another corporate guy. It's not just another company now. But in fact, it is just another company. And the company decided we lose if he goes toe-to-toe with Candace Owens. So shut her up. And they have the right to do it because of the contract.
You think there was a meeting where they sat down, and are you saying like a Ben prompting saying, I don't want to do this debate? Do you think it's a Jeremy thing saying we shouldn't do this debate? Is it that type of a conversation? Or is it like something everybody's thinking nobody wants to say to hurt someone's ego? So they're like, look, we got to do this and we got to protect the company. You think a second?
Yeah, I think it's this guy. Okay. I think it's the super smart guy who's sitting on the outside.
Vinny is who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's the face and the scent. I mean, he's distractingly good smelling. Yeah. Like, I can't make a point.
You're talking about Tom, obviously.
Tom
like
is
technical lawyer. Not that Vinny is not, but he's technically.
Tom is sitting and listening, being like, oh, yeah, this is great drama. I represent the organization, which is now a huge organization with a lot of investors putting money into us. We lose on this. Shut her down. And that's what they're doing. And now Candace has to make a decision. She has to now listen to her representative saying, well, what's my exposure? Because in terms of the argument, I feel like, well, no, let's go. Let's take the gloves off. Let's see who's who. And she's going to have someone like me, a lawyer, say to her, no, we lose. We have in our contract an arbitration clause. They've gone in there. We lost the argument on whether or not we can talk about the proceedings. So they're going to sanction you, and it's going to hurt you in the process of what our separation is.
Do they lose on substance or on policy? Meaning, I've never seen Ben Shapiro lose a debate. This guy knows what he's talking about.
Oh, I've seen him lose.
Especially
lots
Israel.
Of debates.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He says a lot of things that are just overstating propositions, especially.
You don't think Candace does that?
Oh, 100%. Look, that's the job.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to be a provocateur, if you want to be an outrage machine, you're going to stretch. No question about it.
And she's amazing, by the way.
I think that she is a very talented.
She's going to whoop you next time.
Beat your ass, homie.
She can bring it.
my girl.
I have no problem with her bringing it, especially when it's in good faith. Look, the problem for Ben Shapiro is this. He's been very quiet, okay? That's the first tell. This is not a quiet guy. This is very personal to him. His faith is the center of his person, and that's fine. He is defending controversial propositions, okay? They are not controversial to him. I get it. But what he has done is allowed something that's supposed to be personal to become about business. And I think that that's going to be a bad look for him.
So you know what this analogy
But
is
I do like the move. I like the move.
This is kind of like, I understand, it's a power move, but you threw it out there, boom, boom, boom,
Yeah.
we got her. Perfect. Hey, lawyers, look what she just said, boom. Go through, it's kind of like, hey, gag order, another $1,000. Look what he just said on that interview. Same exact thing Trump is going through is kind of they're doing, but here's the part. In school, there's a fight, okay? And one guy says, after school.
Yeah.
I'll see you after school.
3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock
Playground.
after school. That's
Let's
right.
go.
Behind a football stadium, right?
Let's go.
Okay, great. So you go 3 o'clock after school, you meet, the one shows up, okay? And the other one shows up with the principal.
That's exactly what that is.
One gets suspended, okay, for a week from school. But the one that got suspended got street credit.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I'm just telling you.
And that's exactly it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
if this is true.
If it's true, allegedly, but if you think about it, look at what this situation, to me, exposed the hell out of not only Ben, but Daily Wire as well. Because think about the hypocrisy, too. All this stuff, like, hey, you want to debate, get the lawyers involved. Then, a couple days, I think it was yesterday, Shapiro makes a video supporting Elon's reinstatement of Nick Fuentes on X. If you want to talk about anti-Semitic and anti-Jewish, how are you going to flip-flop and now say, you know what, I'm happy that Elon's letting him get on there? Of all people, really?
Who said that?
Ben Shapiro made a video going, hey, I support...
To be fair, he also said the following, which you have to understand what he said. He said in an interview with Dave Rubin, he says, we're not a platform. We're a publisher.
Yeah.
Okay? So Nick Fuentes being reinstated on Twitter, that's a platform. He can say that, and he's kind of dancing. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But he's also saying, we're a publisher. We don't, we don't want Candace to say what she's saying here. We can fire him. Regardless of that position, you lose both ways, though.
100%.
Regardless what you say, you're losing with both arguments.
The thing with Ben and Candace, I would argue, there's policy and there's personality. I would say that Ben is a technical policy guy. Candace, amazing marketer, amazing personality. But the biggest question is the following. What is the hill you're willing to die on? We've seen since COVID, people take stances on what they're willing to die on, the single focus that has a primary importance to them. Ben has been exposed. And I'm not saying this is a good or bad thing. The hill he's willing to die on
Is Israel. 1,000%.
So with Candace, what is her hill? My question is...
She has a bunch of hills,
Is it anti-BLM? True. Is it America First? True. At one point, the literal hill she was going to die on was exposing Emmanuel Macron's wife as a man. She said the following, that she'd willing to bet her entire career on it. So I'm just wondering if this debate happens, how that would all play out.
But see, I think Ben was exposed because the Israel thing, that was his head exploding. No, for months we had to hear this freaking guy and his voice got more annoying. Candace is Michael Jackson bad. She focuses here, bro. Hanging out with her, this girl is a freaking a sponge. She wants to like a little kid. She wants to no, and then by the way, one week she's doing this, 1 week it's this, one day she doesn't have a hill, Adam. She has multiple hills that she can attack all of.
But
them.
everyone
These guys
has
are
one
together.
hill.
It's like they're siblings. They're twins.
I love her.
how they are.
She's hilarious.
Tom, what are your thoughts on? Because I have one question I want to ask Etienne, and I specifically want to get your thoughts and your thoughts, Tom, on it. But go for it.
Strategically, I agree with Chris. This is good for Daily Wire strategically. However, what happens in the public square? Daily Wire, there's two fights here. Daily Wire in the legal ring just won a 15-round decision where the entire crowd looks at it and said, man, that sucks. That's not right. And the brand and the PR, Daily Wire suffered a second-round knockout.
Wow,
That's what happened. Because everybody's looking at Daily Wire, looking at going, man, you guys just look bad. You were trying, people that don't understand the chessboard of legal and contracts and everything are looking at this saying, oh, you didn't want to debate and you did that, man? You went to some judge to do that? That is what a lot of people see. That's a knockout for the brand. That's not where I want to be. Ben looks bad. Jeremy looks bad. Daily Wire looks bad.
I got a question
And
for
all
you.
she has to do is stand there and say, I can't talk about it. And she looks fine. But legally, it's a 15-round
Got it.
decision
Tom,
where we all
question for
just
you.
look at it and say, ah, man.
Question for you.
That's
Question for you. So, can a media company, historically, you guys lived in America longer than I have. I've only been here since 1990, so I don't have a lot of history prior to that of what happened here, except from the books I've read. Has a media company ever had a fatal moment, a career-ending moment?
I would argue that CNN which has dropped below MSNBC in the ratings, has lost their identity. We saw the documentary, the book, Call Me Ted. I would argue that where is CNN now? Just quite frankly, we all know where I stand, moderate, middle, unifier type of guy. I have a mixed media diet. I watch CNN for two people, Cuomo, and who I think is the most brilliant guy on TV, Fareed Zakaria. I literally don't watch CNN after Cuomo left, and Fareed only is on Sundays. Where the hell is CNN these days?
So you think I don't think CNN is fatal though, because I think if we had the kind of resources and we were able to make an offer to buy CNN and bring it in, and I know somebody else is running it from the top, I think there's something that, because I think if you can go back to what Ted Turner wanted to build, I think there's a chance. And then it's no longer CNN, it's a rebranding. I'm asking fatal. Like Vice, fatal.
I don't remember saying. Now, Vice went out of business for a lot of reasons, but I mean, if you're talking about like fatal on a controversy, no. Personalities and producers have endured fatal moments. Dan freaking Rather got absolutely kicked to the curb over the George W. Bush story, and it was him, his researcher and producer, who all got together and decided to stretch the facts and spin them to make W look bad, and the fires of hell came back at them, and then the network. Talking about Dan Rather, he was the successor. He was the next big anchor that came after the years of Cronkite.
Well, I mean, Dan was a big deal, is a big deal. History thus far has been kind to him.
He's making a comeback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's huge.
Dan Rather?
He's huge on digital media.
95 years old.
I know. But I'm saying that he's
a legend in the game.
To Pat's point.
Of course he's a legend, but...
To Pat's point about the brand, his brand is strong. Why? Well, the test of time and perspective. CBS threw him under the bus. That happens when it's about you or me in a corporate setting. That's what's happening at the Daily Wire also, is that the corporation has to win. And the way that they win is by shutting Candace down, and they have the right to make that happen, whether or not you think it's right. So he goes down. Now, in terms of whether or not you've ever seen a kill shot to an entire brand, probably not, because they get rid of somebody. They blame somebody. Brian Williams was that at NBC.
MSNBC.
He gets busted, right? For what I wasn't that impressed with, by the way. He just forgot that he was telling a story that wasn't really true. And he had told it so many times that like he forgot that he was telling a story that he had kind of made up.
In the helicopter and live fire. And
right. They wound up.
I saw bodies floating by.
Yeah. And they wind up bringing him back onto MSNBC, rehabilitate him because his buddy wound up being in control. So what's the point? That individuals get taken down. Brands usually exist. To Pat's point, CNN is a huge and valuable brand. Are they
Internationally,
well, and,
more than domestically.
but and domestically? Because let me
The
tell
right owner needs to own it.
Because let me tell you,
I'm
something.
saying currently, they're a mess.
But Adam, I asked fatal.
Okay.
Right.
Fatal.
And as long as people look, even me, I don't think it's warranted that people have as many strong opinions about me as they do. But as long as they do, there is value to that. If people watch you every week and every time your show is on because they love you, great. If they watch you because they can't wait to see what things are going to make them crazy, good. There's no difference to the value of the brand. CNN, just like MSNBC, just like Fox, people are figuring out the sweet spot in the social dialogue and the cultural chaos to pick their spot. My problem with that is you shouldn't be looking for a lane. The mistake is looking for a lane because you wind up inevitably favoring a side. And then it becomes, who do you want to impress? To Tom's point, who does the Daily Wire want to impress?
Conservatives.
If it's their advertising base, they made the right move. Advertisers don't like this kind of controversy. Now, the problem is the whole reason that Shapiro makes money, the whole reason Candace makes money is controversy. You got to take swings at things that are absurd because look at the comments. Love, hate, it's all feeling. Yep. Nobody says on his laptop, it says facts don't care about your feelings. Please take the sticker off. All you care about is feelings. All you care about is making people, provoking them into a very strong thing. And if that's what you're about, logic is boring.
Yeah, I hope I think sometime when something like this happens,
they'll never debate. By the way,
well,
it'll never happen.
You either one, you stick to your guns and you have to change your approach, who you get your money from, and then you have to go and see who you need to now go get to replace a Candace in a market. I don't know. Okay. 2, then this could lead into even more internal battles with people talking internally who liked a Candace to say, hey, what happened here? Maybe that can happen to me as well. Maybe not. I'm just saying that could be another possibility. But I think, Adam, I see your hand. I'll come to you. I see your hand. So the other possibility is the fact that, you know, if they choose to really go to what they've done well over the years, they didn't get to where they are right now by pure luck.
No.
You don't build Daily Wire by pure luck. I remember first time I was in LA and I went to a studio in Sherman Oaks and him and I sat down, we did something together and then seen them go from there to where they are now and the kind of eyeballs and subscriptions and things that they've done, What is a Woman, all these different documentaries that they've done. They've built something significant for themselves that they can grow. Every operator makes mistakes. Every business owner makes mistakes. You just can't make the fatal ones. That's the only thing. You can't make the fatal ones. In insurance, compliance could be fatal. Finance, compliance, Enron, Andy Fastow, 100,000. Oh, they'll never go out of business. Boom. You can't make the fatal mistakes. That's the only thing I'm saying. You can in life make a lot of mistakes. You cannot make the fatal ones. The fatal ones sometimes can, completely, especially in the media space, there's, how they say, well, it's good controversy. There's no such thing as bad controversy. As long as they're talking about us, our brand is getting bigger. Maybe it's true. This could be a case study. In the next 3 years, 5 years, we look back and say, hey, kind of worked out in their favor. Well, or you can look back and say they royally screwed up.
You got your answer, is that their big brains made a decision that the Daily Wire will not die on the hill of defending the IDF. That's not going to be what we're known for. No matter how strong Shapiro is in his faith and the projection of that onto Israel, right? Because they're different things. They're related, obviously, but they're different.
Wait, you're saying the owners say they're not going to die on the hill?
You are not going to. Daily Wire is not going to be known as the IDF defense machine.
You don't think so?
That's why they shut Candace up. If they wanted to be the IDF defense machine, we're all in with Israel. We're taking on the cause.
They would have kept her.
Of course, they'd be debating it right here. They would have had you moderate it. You would have been a perfect choice for them.
Yep.
And he would have been up there and they would have gone all in on saying, okay, you tell me again why Israel is conducting a genocide. And I'm going to slice it like cheese as a poor argument that is just meant to anger people against the Jews. That's what they'd be doing. They're doing the opposite.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Adam, go ahead.
Well, Ben isn't the only personality in the Daily Wire because Matt Walsh has a very different position, more of an isolationist position. Matt Knowles has a different position. They have different positions. So Ben, it does not equal Daily Wire. But I'm going to push back on the CNN thing. Maybe it's not fatal or lethal, but it's, in my opinion, incurable. Why would I say such a thing? It's costly. It's crippling. How do you go from being the #1 cable news outlet to #3 in a matter of a decade? How the hell do you do that? Fox News is now #1 by far. You have Greg Gutfeld, my apologies, the least funniest late night guy out there, numero uno. Kimmel, Fallon, Colbert, all funny, famous people. Second, third, fourth place.
Well, I wouldn't say Colbert's
CNN,
funny, but
funnier than Gutfeld guy.
I mean, apparently not.
So exactly,
What's
because
your point,
they've been so segmented. So my question to our friend Chris is, how the hell do you save CNN? Who's their lead anchor? What do they stand for? You said the following.
I want to go to the next story. We're at 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But
you
I
said,
understand.
show me an outlet.
Yeah.
Show me your agenda.
I'll
What's
tell you
their
at lunch.
agenda?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're at 45 minutes. I want to go to the next one. We got like 19 stories to go through. But here's what I want to do. What I will say to you, Adam, on the incurable. So here's a question for you. Do you think if Musk buys CNN, it can be saved?
That
Give me
could
the
give him, that
percentage.
could
Give
give
me
him
the
some life
percentage,
support. 20%.
Okay, fair. Do you think if I don't
Because
know.
their crowd is not an Elon Musk fan. Their crowd has skewed so far left. The moderates and the people to the right literally hate CNN. This is one of the most reasonable, moderate men I've ever met, and he's getting skewered by the right wing.
I just think like sports teams that go through a terrible mistake that they make with a player or political whatever. You restructure GM, coaches. Like, look, Clippers cannot be saved. They were saved. Clippers were saved because of ownership change, and a new guy came in. And when's the last time we thought about Donald Sterling? Forced him to sell it for $2.2 billion. I believe in capitalism, and I believe Daily Wire can make. But I do think there needs to be some changes in management. That's all I'm saying. I think they can do something, but those are tough decisions to make. The board is going to have a hard time having those types of conversations. Some moves you make are fatal. If you don't quickly try to resolve it, it's just going to be taking longer to recover from it. That's all I'm saying. I want to go to our sponsor because Minnect is on fire. And let me give you guys some statistic here. It's very, very important, guys, for you to know this. Guy sends me a message today. I won't give you his name, but I'll tell you the question he asked me. Hey, Patrick, life-changing content, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, I've become burned out with my life. I'm a structural engineer. I'm starting to have panic attacks and constant anxiety. And I'm thinking about going across country and living abroad. I don't want to live in America right now. And he's sending me a message. Guy does very well for himself. Makes a few $100,000 a year. Doesn't know who to get in contact with. Sometimes these types of questions you can't ask your relatives. You can't ask your family. You can't ask your siblings because they're going to sit there and say, wait, you're going through tough times? Do you know a cold response, Vinny, on email, what percentage of cold email you send to somebody, what percentage of the time people respond? 1%. Do you know on Instagram, it's 3%. Twitter is 3 to 5%. LinkedIn is 8 to 12%. You know what a cold response on Minnect is right now? 91%. And you know what's even better than the 91%? Over 50% of the time, you will get the answer to your question within 24 hours. Why is that important? Because anybody that I want to get a hold of, I don't have a problem saying, hey, man, I value your time. Here's $200. What do you think about this? I'm thinking about raising money on this. Hey, here's $50. I'm going through this issue right now. What do you think about this? Hey, I'm trying to raise some money. What are some 5 things you can tell me about doing this? Hey, my wife and I are going through some challenges. Hey, we're trying to put our kids into private school. What do you think about this? Hey, I'm thinking about leaving my job to start a business. What do you think about this? Minnect has become the top networking app where people get back to you promptly. And the reason why they do is because you show respect for their time by simply saying, hey, I'm willing to pay for a speedy response. By the way, go ahead and Minnect Cuomo on anything he said today you disagree with. Go to Minnect him. Ask him a question. See what kind of answers he gets. The audience loves Cuomo's answers. That's his QR code. Go to his QR code. Ask him a question. Go have a conversation with Vinny or Adam or Sauce and see what kind of response they're giving you. By the way, on top of that, Tulsi Gabbard just crossed 100 Minnect. Awesome. And she's responding on Minnect. We even ran a contest right now with Minnect that we're going to be having dinner together here in South Florida at Casa D'Angelo. And then afterwards, we're going to go to the cigar lounge. And here's what the Leaders Bulletin right now looks like. All you have to do is go to Minnect.com. Rob, if you can go to Minnect.com, just click on the logo, Rob. Just click, there you go. You go to Minnect.com on the top left, click on the Leaders Bulletin. Then when you go there, you can see the video to explain the contest. But if you go below, there's different categories. That's the lightweight right now. At the top is Tulsi. Then it's Brandon Davis. Then it's, I can't read it if you can zoom in. What's that name? Santino Testani, okay, at third place. Wow, look at Joanne Gavilan is right behind Santino, 73, and then Gary Wood, 66. Then go to the middleweight, Rob, if you want to go to the middleweight. Middleweight, we have Fernando still at the top with 69. Then you got Parsa, he's about to pass him up, 68. Then you got Michael Mara and Tomo, the rest of the camp. Then if you can go on the right, Rob, you're even there. Is that Rob Gargullo at the 10th spot?
The 10th spot middleweight.
Rob is getting Minnect. Freaking sick.
My guy
So then
Cuomo.
we have the heavyweights.
Krishan.
Dustin, boom, 204. Calvin G, 109. Chris, third, 59. Krishan, 48. Then Dennis, Ben Pappas, Aaron Mont. And then we got Sapula, or Mario. And I go to home team. Vinny's just dominating everybody.
Vinny's
497, 304, 252. Adams one away from 100, 99. Then go to the bottom for people asking the most questions. You got Eddie at the, he's asking 90. This is a brand new person using Minnect. 93 questions. Terry Hall, 92. Manuel Lopez, 88. Eric, 76 questions being asked. And then go to the right. People that have been on Minnect before. Dustin's asked 229. Wow, Sarujan got 290, Ozzy 197, and then you got the rest of the folks. So go use the app, start Minnecting today, get the answer to your questions. I've learned from a long time ago at 23, 24, 25 years old, I am willing to pay to get the answers now because the right answer to a question I have today, not 6 months from now, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, from the right qualified person can change my life and save me years of headaches. Anyways, download the app, start Minnecting today.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.